All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look at the, well, fascinating, I guess you could say, world of artist Bob Camblin.
Definitely fascinating. A little bit enigmatic, too, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. And to help us make sense of it all, we've got a pretty incredible collection of sources. We have some writings straight from Camblin, Bob Camblin quotes and other mysteries. There's a biography that covers his life and career, also a book review, plus the foreword from Zen and the Art of Enlightenment Volume 1, which actually features some of his drawings.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and then we've also got this YouTube transcript talking about one of his watercolor paintings, plus some other like historical stuff and reviews. It's a lot to dig into.
Sounds like it. So what's the game plan for today? What do we want listeners to walk away with?
Good question. I think the goal here is for everyone to, get a good, solid, but like quick understanding of how Camblin looked at art, life, the whole creative process.
Okay, I like it. So we're going for those aha moments,
Hmm.
right? Unveiling the mysteries of Bob Camblin.
Exactly. We're going to unpack some of his more puzzling statements, try to trace his artistic path, and see how all of this connects to bigger, like philosophical ideas. So, where do we even begin?
Well, we've got Camblin's own words right here and quotes and other mysteries. Why don't we start there?
Okay, yeah, great idea. And right off the bat, there's this theme that keeps popping up: time, how it impacts everything.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
He's got this line: fortunately, some things remain forever, or another 10 years, perhaps.
Hmm, quite a thought.
Right. And then there's this other one that really gets me. Sad how we all aged at that moment in time. Salt Air Summer 1967. It just feels so human.
Absolutely. There's this real awareness of how fleeting life is, how moments slip away.
Yeah.
And knowing from the biography about his later nomadic life, it seems like he really embodied that idea of impermanence.
Oh, totally. And a book review we have even talks about this very theme, how impermanence is built into both art and life.
Yeah, that makes sense. And by mentioning that specific summer, Camlin really makes it relatable, doesn't he? It's not just some abstract concept anymore.
Right, exactly. And then he goes on to this incredible idea about how everything's interconnected.
Oh, how so?
He writes, look into the atom, you get what you need. Look into magic, and you get what you need. Philosophy and art are in both.
Wow. So he's saying it doesn't matter if you're looking at the tiniest particle or something as mysterious as magic, you're still tapping into those same core principles that connect art and philosophy.
That's exactly it. And that's really echoed in the foreword to Zen and the Art of Enlightenment, which talks about how these philosophical and artistic influences come together.
Hmm, interesting. It also makes me think of that book review we mentioned earlier, the one that calls art a series of questions in philosophy and attempt to answer them. They're both intertwined.
Absolutely. Okay, now this is where things get even more interesting. He talks about embracing paradox and finding this perfectly average perspective so you can appreciate the miracles on both sides of science and magic.
Perfectly average, huh? I
Yes.
wouldn't exactly call Camblin average.
No, not at all. But that's kind of the point, right? He wasn't afraid of holding two opposing ideas in his mind at the same time, aiming for this intensely bright gray.
I see. So it's not about choosing one side or the other, but finding that balance, that vibrant space where both can exist.
Yes. And remember, the book review even calls his drawings paradoxes made visible. And that review of Zen and the Art of Enlightenment, it talks about his unsettling and humorous koans.
Ah, like those Zen riddles designed to shake up your thinking. I could see that. So embracing paradox is key to understanding Camblin. He wasn't satisfied with simple answers.
Totally. Now, he also has this really powerful line: the sixth sense is to be, without a doubt, senza dubio, no doubt.
Without a doubt. He really emphasizes that inner conviction, doesn't he? It's like a level of knowing that goes beyond our five senses.
Absolutely. And then there's this other line that's almost painful in its awareness. Bright day, and I soar, how cruel that my soul is attached to this earth, and yet.
There's that longing to transcend our limits, but also this acceptance that we are tied to the physical world.
Yeah, it's that classic struggle, isn't it? Wanting to be free, but also being tethered.
And that ties in beautifully with his next quote. I cannot tell a lie to myself for very long. Camblin, 1974. Find something in nature that completes you and then surrender.
Oh, I love that one. There's such an emphasis on being honest with yourself, connecting with nature, and then letting go.
It's like a recipe for finding inner peace.
Mm,
It's like he's saying, be true to yourself, find your place in the natural world, and then surrender to something larger.
exactly. And then he gets almost instructional with the light is all you need. The end is to evolve by doing the best you can. The means is to amplify what you're doing and believe.
Straightforward, but powerful. It's like
Yeah.
a blueprint for creative living. The light, the evolution, the belief.
Right. It's all about focusing on what matters and having faith in your own journey. Then there's this beautiful line in the balance, patience and yet, freedom again and yet, in silence, the reality can be maintained, in the reality, the pain that I move away from.
He's always searching for that balance, isn't he? Patience, freedom, finding stillness amidst the chaos.
Yeah, and he even suggests that this balance can help him move away from pain. It's like finding refuge in that inner peace.
Absolutely. And speaking of balance, he has this really interesting take on how love and art evolve. True love moves to indifference, to protect itself. Sublime in the ridiculous, look for the forgotten, but become what you are, less only is. Art is not just images. Art for art's sake has become art for life's sake, or art for my sake, or art for survival's sake.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack.
It is, isn't it? It's like he's saying love can become indifferent to protect itself, or its purpose shifts over time, and that we should embrace the absurd while staying true to ourselves.
It's a lot, but I think it gets at the heart of how our priorities and motivations change over time, both in love and in art.
True. And maybe that evolution is inevitable. It's a part of growth. Now, this next one is a real gem. Step off the train of thought to find the power that is no power, to do the work that is not work, to laugh the true laugh. Bending is not bowing.
I love that one. It's like a call to break free from those conventional ways of thinking.
Yeah, to discover a different kind of strength and authenticity. Power that is no power. Work that is not work. It's all about finding a way of being that's effortless, natural, and true to yourself.
And then he adds, bending is not bowing. Like, even when you yield, you don't lose your integrity.
Exactly, there's still strength and flexibility. Now, right after that, he has these two seemingly contradictory ideas. When you think, don't act. When you act, don't think.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. But then he tells this little story about someone immediately paying for coffee after a discussion about changing the world. It's almost like a commentary on how we often get stuck in our heads instead of taking action.
I see what you mean. Like, we can talk about big ideas all day, but actually doing something, even something small, requires a different kind of energy.
Exactly. So maybe those statements aren't actually contradictory. Maybe they're just highlighting the dangers of both overthinking and acting impulsively.
That's a good point. Now, this next quote shows how he could find the cosmic in the everyday. The cosmos waves as me with tree leaves. Sun-heated air moves across the electrons of my skin. Sunlight reflects those greens. First, white, then yellow-green, and in deep shadows, blue.
He's so observant, isn't he? The way he describes the light, the colors, the feeling of the sun on his skin.
It's like he can see the whole universe in a single leaf.
Absolutely. He's connecting the vastness of the cosmos with the very personal experience of being present in his body in that moment.
It's beautiful. And then there's this intriguing story in his notes called On the Tower. It talks about these white mountains, a cold wind, lightning, and then he decides to leave before it's over.
Sounds intense.
It is. But then he gains this insight from rain-soaked willows. It's like the real wisdom comes after the storm has passed, in the quiet reflection.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes we need that space, that distance to really process what we've experienced.
Totally. And then there's this line that just captures a whole feeling in so few words. He walked by so slow that my writing slowed, my heart and also the wind.
Wow. There's a real sense of stillness and interconnectedness there. Like this person's presence had a ripple effect on everything around them.
It's amazing, right? How subtle energy can be so powerful. And speaking of powerful, he throws out this little nugget. There is one joy that exceeds all other, and that's all I'll say.
He leaves us hanging. But I think that's part of the point. He wants us to reflect on what that joy might be for each of us.
I agree. It's like he's inviting us to go on our own inner search for that ultimate joy.
I like that. And then he hits us with this almost mystical line. Not a leaf moves, and yet we all feel the cool breeze.
Yeah.
It's like he's talking about a shared awareness, something beyond our physical senses.
Yeah, it gives me chills. Like we're all connected to something larger than ourselves, even if we don't always realize it.
Right. It's a subtle energy, but we all feel it. Now, in a lighter note, he says, much better than arguing is to look at my watercolor palette.
He finds solace in his art, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely. It's his escape, his refuge.
And it makes me think about how we all need those things in our lives, those things that bring us peace and help us navigate conflict.
Totally. We all need our own version of a watercolor palette. And then he gives us this simple yet profound statement about perception. White is light. Black is absence of light. But people are seen.
That's interesting.
It is, isn't it? He's playing with the idea that seeing a person is so much more than just perceiving light and shadow. It's about recognizing their essence, their humanity.
It's about understanding, connecting, empathizing.
Exactly. And then there's this line where he directly addresses nature. Well, that's enough about me, Mother Nature. Let's talk about you. What did you think of my last picture?
It's so childlike and playful, yet there's a real reverence there too. Yeah, like he's seeking approval from the ultimate creator. And he captures that kind of chaotic energy of our thoughts with this little anecdote. 5 thoughts crashed at South Palladian Mandal, followed by this totally random list.
Oh, I know that feeling. Like when your mind is just a whirlwind of ideas and to-dos.
It's the human experience in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
And then he throws out these funny observations about perspective, like how to end arguments with a pessimist or an optimist.
Tell me, how do you end an argument with an optimist?
You just say, it's a banana.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? It's absurd, but it makes you think about how differently people see the world.
Absolutely. And then he asks, do people diminish as they move away? It's a simple question, but it gets at something deeper about how we perceive distance, both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, I love that one. And then there's the irony of the statement. My attempts to stop arguing created an argument.
Oh, I've been there.
Hmm.
Sometimes our best intentions backfire, don't they?
They really do. And then he makes this important distinction. If you argue, or if you agree, you may learn, but you do not communicate. It really makes you think about what true communication is all about.
It is. It's about more than just winning an argument or going along with someone. It's about understanding, connection, empathy.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And then there's this beautiful metaphor about an open gate, a broken fence, searching for something without knowing how big it is, but still having faith and needing to see it all at once.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? It captures that feeling of being on a quest, driven by belief, even when you're not sure where you're going.
Totally. And he also talks about how revolution is born from misunderstanding, while evolution comes from understanding, with true balance found in individual minds.
It's an interesting take on societal change, suggesting that real progress requires a shift in consciousness, a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Absolutely. And then he throws in this simple proverb: you never miss the water until the wells run dry. Like a timeless reminder to appreciate what we have.
So true. And speaking of timeless, there's this haiku that really struck me. 6 starling, sitting among broken branches, look, no buds are growing. There's this quiet sadness there, this sense of stillness, and maybe even a lack of hope.
It's powerful, isn't it? How
No.
such a simple image can evoke so much emotion.
Yeah, it's masterful. And then there's this line that really captures that feeling of being an outsider. Every day the clouds circle our tower as if we, again, were the intruders. It's like he feels isolated, out of sync with the world around him.
He's in his own world, but it's not always a comfortable place to be.
Right. And then in his sketchbook, he draws this trapped fish and simply writes, so much like us. It's such a simple observation, but it speaks volumes about his empathy and his ability to see himself in nature.
He's connecting with that feeling of being trapped, limited, longing for freedom.
It's a universal experience, isn't it? And then in a later moment, he imagines coming back as a fly, specifically because of how their bodies shine in the sun.
Uh-huh. It's so quirky and unexpected.
I know, right? It reminds me that we should never lose our sense of wonder and our ability to find beauty in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. And he elevates the mundane to the level of art with this line: darning needles sew shimmer-lined tapestries of blue, green, and white bands. It's like he's seeing a tapestry where most people just see a chore.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? And then there's this sensory haiku that's both evocative and a little bit ominous. Bleached, textured, and white, to taste and sight, pray ever avoid the lamp fate.
It's so vivid, but there's a warning there too, like beauty can be fleeting and there's always a potential for destruction.
Right, there's always a shadow lurking behind the light. And then he asks this question. Canvas rectangle, summer light, calligraphy, mystic and complete. Like, what are the essential elements of art? What makes it truly meaningful?
He's searching for that essence, that spark that elevates a simple arrangement of shapes and colors to something more.
And then he throws out these surreal and evocative images. Eater Christians, Chimera Byzantium, warm, cold children's chair, and San Gimignano, Calamari to oblivion, strange ways of magic. It's like he's tapping into a dream world, a place where logic is suspended and anything is possible.
It's definitely a different kind of thinking. It's playful, it's provocative, and it challenges us to see the world through a new lens.
Totally. And then he captures these fleeting moments and emotions. Fragile grayed lady, now tiptoe, now skirts high, sidewise hasty retreat, and the simple sounds of footsteps on marble.
It's like he's freezing time, capturing those little details that most people would overlook.
He's attuned to the subtle beauty of everyday life. And that awareness is present in the haiku about August's heat and the dragonfly and the image of flat banyan trees. It's a
Yeah.
very specific, personal way of seeing the world.
It is, and that's what makes his art so unique. It's filtered through his own unique experience and perspective.
And then there's more mythological imagery with these lines. Fall, waxen feathers, flowers of burning petals, raw, raw Icarus, and feathered pharmacos. Between surrogate and sun Icarus depends. It's like he's reimagining those classic myths through his own
Yeah,
lens.
he's drawing connections between the ancient and the modern, the personal and the universal. It's fascinating how he weaves these different threads together.
Totally. And then he observes nature and sees a reflection of human hesitation in this haiku. Oh, sandpiper, why do you dance at ocean's edge? Come, the water's fine. It's like he's encouraging us to take the plunge, to embrace the unknown.
There's a gentleness there, but also a challenge. Like he's saying, what are you waiting for? Jump in.
Exactly. And then he captures this dramatic moment in a haiku about summer's great black waves and men pulling nets. It's a powerful image of human struggle against the forces of nature.
It is. And it reminds me that even in the face of those overwhelming forces, we still find ways to persevere, to make a living, to connect with something larger than ourselves.
It's inspiring. And then there's this mix of vibrant colors and a sense of loss in these lines. Green rocks, blue water, bright-colored Tiberians, piccato, capretti, and through purple leaves flash iridescent wing shadows, hide the sinking shell. It's like something precious is slipping away, and he can only capture it in these fleeting glimpses.
There's a real melancholy there, a sense of something irretrievably lost. But it's beautiful too, isn't it? The way he describes those colors, those moments.
Absolutely. And then he shares this poignant haiku about personal experience and societal constraints. First child, glory be, 7 years deprived, my dear, for economy. It's a reminder that life is full of difficult choices and sacrifices.
It is. And it makes me think about how our personal lives are always intertwined with larger economic and social forces.
It's a reality we all face. And then there's this reflection on the deceptive nature of appearances. This strange, mirror-bright face cupped between my hands makes me seem so young. It's the fleeting illusion of youth caught in a momentary glance.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? The way he captures that feeling of confronting our own mortality, even in such a simple act as looking in a mirror.
It is, and then he digs deeper into that duality of appearance and reality with this line. White magic, white lies, thoughts of twisted limbs and mind, the hidden fear seen. It's like he's peering beneath the surface, revealing the darkness that lurks beneath the facade.
Yeah, there's a real sense of unease there. Like he's suggesting that things are not always as they seem.
And then he plays with the idea of permanence in this ironic haiku. This egg in brown leaves has a great secret of mine, that nothing changes. It's like he's acknowledging the absurdity of our desire for things to stay the same in a world that's constantly in flux.
He's challenging that notion of permanence, highlighting the inevitability of change. And then he zooms in on the miniature world with these lines. Ragged wheels of silk, minuscule dragons observed by Buddha spiders, and this dragon never lived on paper or flowers? Well, perhaps next time. It's playful, it's imaginative, and it reminds me that there's a whole universe of wonder hidden in plain sight.
Oh, I love that. And then he shifts to these contemplations of mortality and time. Jawless monster, cold marble sundial of the church, do the old men sleep? And weeds of last year crowd shaking with lavender. Spring winds are just the first sign. It's like he's reflecting on the cycle of life and death, the constant interplay of decay and renewal.
It's beautiful and a little bit melancholy, isn't it? That awareness of the passage of time and the inevitability of our own mortality.
It is. But there's also a sense of hope there, too, that spring will always follow winter, that new life will emerge from the ashes of the old.
Right, there's a cyclical nature to it all. And he captures that ephemeral quality of sensory experiences with these fragments. Blue pictures pulsing, the faded image breathes once, the tattooed hand waits, and that simple question about a stirred seed pod. It's like he's trying to hold on to those fleeting moments, those impressions that linger just out of reach.
It's like trying to grasp smoke, isn't it? It's beautiful, but it's always slipping away.
It is. And then he finds beauty in discarded objects. with this line: "Blue bottle banquet, from the sea in summer come tide-washed necklaces." It's like he's transforming trash into treasure, seeing the artistry in the overlooked and the forgotten.
And that reminds me of the importance of perspective, of looking at the world with fresh eyes and finding the beauty in the unexpected.
Absolutely. And then there's this bittersweet mix of evocative imagery and a sense of loss. Purple canals, golden palazzi.
Mm.
The rain muffles her crying, and along on longboat, memory of summer walks, I hear this is gone. It's like he's mourning the passing of time, the fading of cherished memories.
There's a real nostalgia there, a longing for something that can't be recovered.
It's poignant, but also beautiful in its own way. And then he expresses frustration with the limitations of his own perception. The pinged eye sees more than mine, and God damn it, I see nothing yet. It's like he's acknowledging that art can sometimes reveal truths that are hidden from our everyday vision.
Yeah, it's that feeling of being humbled by the power of art, of realizing that there's always more to see and understand.
And he celebrates the beauty of abstract thought with this line: "This strange device whirled by a figure of my mind, a beautiful dance." It's a reminder that there's a whole universe of wonder and complexity within our own minds.
Totally. And then he throws out these humorous and evocative images. Gargoyles gargling water from Gothic churches, you missed me that time, and
Hmm.
off the shore, fragments of a memory are found, bones of Icarus. It's a playful blend of dark humor and profound reflection.
He's always playing with those contrasts, isn't he? The light and the dark, the serious and the absurd.
Yeah, it's part of his magic. And then he captures a simple moment in time. Hammock facing west, fingers knit to block the sun, become burning twigs. It's a vivid sensory experience, a reminder to appreciate the small details of everyday life.
It's beautiful. And then he reflects on the selective nature of memory, comparing nostalgia to dreading for archetypes, but cautioning against holding on to the past for too long.
It's a reminder that the past can be a source of inspiration, but it can also be a trap if we dwell there too long.
Exactly. We need to find that balance between honoring the past and embracing the present.
And speaking of embracing the present, he declares that the artist today is the only free agent. He is not committed except so much as he desires it. It's a bold statement about artistic freedom and the power of individual expression.
It is. And it makes me think about how artists have always pushed boundaries, challenged conventions, and refused to be confined by expectations.
And he links that idea to a shift towards participatory art, where the audience becomes more actively involved in the creative process.
It's a fascinating concept. It's about breaking down those traditional barriers between artist and viewer, creating a more collaborative and engaging experience.
Exactly. And then he draws this interesting parallel between belief in ghosts, belief in art, and ultimately belief in oneself. It's a reminder that so much of what we consider real is based on our own subjective convictions.
That's a powerful idea. It's about recognizing the power of our beliefs to shape our reality.
Totally. And then he reflects on how faith, discipline, communication, and even being in Camblin circa 1968 can be both helpful and hindering. It's a self-aware acknowledgement that even the things that can help us grow can also hold us back.
It's that duality again, isn't it? The light and the shadow, the good and the bad.
It's all part of the human experience. And then he offers this rather open-ended definition of art and love. Art is and it isn't, and now everyone knows. Love, art if experienced, no description is necessary, but often making out is confused with love and feeling good is not always art. It's like he's saying that true art and love are beyond definition, beyond words. They can only be experienced.
It's about going beyond those superficial understandings, those easy answers, and diving into the depths of experience.
Exactly. And then there's that intriguing quote about resist and submit held in perfect balance figure four, followed by those verses about the figure four trap. It's this unexpected metaphor for finding equilibrium between opposing forces, even in the midst of struggle.
It's brilliant, isn't it? How he uses that wrestling hold as a metaphor for the constant push and pull of life.
Totally. And then he throws out this thought-provoking line, when understood, all truth is funny. It's like he's saying that when we reach a certain level of understanding, we can see the absurdity of it all, the inherent humor in the human condition.
It's a perspective that can be liberating, isn't it? To see the humor in even the most serious things.
Absolutely. And then he circles back to the importance of present awareness. Don't let the demon of being right get in. Flow and think of what you are doing, not what you plan to do. Step off the train of thought. It's about letting go of that need to control, that attachment to outcomes, and just being in the flow of the moment.
It's about surrendering to the process, trusting the journey.
And then he offers this wry observation about how historians love artistic madness when it isn't alive and well and attending meetings. It's a funny but insightful commentary on how we often romanticize the past while failing to appreciate the challenges of the present.
It is. It's like we put these figures on pedestals, but we wouldn't want to actually deal with their struggles in real life.
Right. And then he expresses a belief in our capacity for growth. We can train ourselves to open instead of close the circuits of perception. It's an optimistic view of our potential to expand our awareness and experience the world more fully.
It's a reminder that our perception is not fixed, that we can learn to see things differently, to be more open to new possibilities.
Totally. And then he distinguishes between believing and knowing, suggesting that mystics have been somewhere beyond the realm of logic. It's about the difference between intellectual understanding and experiential knowledge.
It's about going beyond those mental constructs and actually feeling, experiencing, knowing something on a deeper level.
And he talks about how history becomes more believable when it's creative, and how awareness can help us process difficult realities. Familiarity allows us to participate, and creativity allows us to transcend those limitations. It's a fascinating perspective on how we engage with both the past and the present.
It's about finding meaning in the chaos, using creativity to make sense of the world around us.
And then there's a powerful statement. Cynicism is a type of creativity gone destructive and ego-oriented. It's a condemnation of negativity as a misdirected force, a form of creativity that's turned inward and become poisonous.
It's a reminder that our thoughts and actions have consequences, that negativity can be just as creative as positivity, but with very different outcomes.
Absolutely. And then he laments that we lose our magic in understanding everything instead of knowing. It's that distinction again, isn't it, between intellectual comprehension and a more intuitive, experiential understanding.
It's about not getting lost in our heads, remembering to trust our instincts, our intuition, our hearts.
And then there's this beautiful reflection on effort and mastery. Pushing up. Slowly as a tree growing effort of will, see the master heaping up of small things, no blame. It's a reminder that growth takes time, patience, and self-compassion.
It's a beautiful image. And it makes me think about how often we get discouraged because we're not seeing immediate results.
Right. We live in a culture of instant gratification, but real growth, real mastery, takes time and dedication.
It does. And then he summarizes his approach to art and life. Draw, teach, search, reveal, always framed in paradox. It's about embracing those contradictions, those complexities, and finding truth in the spaces between.
And he calls for a return to a naive approach to art, rejecting the over-intellectualization and superficiality of the contemporary art scene. He feels like we've lost touch with something essential, that there are no nuances remaining in the world.
It's a critique of a culture that values novelty over substance, shock over subtlety, and identification over genuine experience.
And he offers this rather blunt analogy. A critic is a legless man who teaches running. It's a humorous but pointed critique of those who try to dictate what art should be without having the experience of creating it themselves.
It's a reminder that true understanding comes from doing, from experiencing, from getting your hands dirty.
And he sees an innate need to make marks before weapons need and enjoyment as children letters and numbers from pictures nonverbal in a time of many words. It's a powerful statement about the fundamental human drive for visual expression, a drive that predates language and continues to shape our world.
It's about recognizing that creativity is not a luxury, but a necessity. It's an essential part of what makes us human.
And then there's a critique of art driven by external pressures. Intention, forced. Studies quantity, not quality. It's a reminder that true art comes from a place of genuine inspiration, not from a desire for fame or fortune.
It's about following your own inner compass, creating from a place of passion and authenticity.
And then he offers this clever analogy. Artists help historians the same way adults help children look for Easter eggs. It's a humorous way of saying that artists provide the clues, the raw materials, but it's up to historians to interpret them, to piece together the bigger picture.
It's a reminder that history is always a story told from a particular perspective, and that there's always more to discover beneath the surface.
And then there's a warning about the dangers of technical skill without substance. Facility is like the Midas touch. He sees a connection between the emptiness of some art and the efforts of critics and historians to fill that void, concluding that the visual arts have finally become non-visual. It's critique of overly conceptual art that may lack genuine visual impact.
It's a reminder that art should engage our senses, our emotions, our imaginations. It shouldn't just be an intellectual exercise.
Exactly. And then he offers a concise description of zazen. Zazen, the aimless mind, focuses itself. It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to find clarity is to let go of our striving, to simply be present in the moment.
It's about finding that stillness within, that space where our thoughts can settle and our true nature can emerge.
And he encourages us to approach creativity with a sense of playfulness and fearlessness. Play the game as if your life depended on it. Why fear and doubt in a harmless course like drawing? It's a call to embrace the joy of creation, to let go of our inhibitions and simply create for the sheer pleasure of it.